next and essentially final part of this demo is to say you have to say try, and we've seen this code before. There's nothing new about this. We need to say try and catch, right? And we say when we say catch, we can specify the type of exception that we want to handle. In our case, we are expecting arithmetic range error, so we'll say arithmetic range error. I'll name this EX, right? And my handler will potentially say system dot out dot print print line, and I will print something that says error, right? So there was an error, and I will add to this error my EX exception get message, right? Get message is one of the possibilities that that I have to report my error. Now, of course, this int result equals arithmetic now is going to be executed inside this try block, right? And so so this time I will print the result in the try block as well, perhaps because it really doesn't make sense to do it otherwise, right? So now I have so this is the look and feel for the approach which separates the code, the normal flow, which is here says if everything's okay and result was we were able to generate the result, we simply print the result and we continue on with normal business. Otherwise, if there was an exception, we will be able to catch it, and this way we can recover from the condition that we decided to indicate as being exceptional or error-like, and we will report the error. So therefore, we have a separate block that handles only the error, right? So let's give this a try. We're just going to run this. Right, so my result is fine, but if I make one of my operands a negative number, I should get my error, and it says error, add method failed. Right, so we've just went through the stages of essentially thinking about a business logic which we would like to control and implement some business rules which would provide some validation checks on the values. We make a decision that there is a certain range of values that we can accept. Otherwise, we can throw an exception. In order to throw an exception, we design our own exception object. And then when we try using our method inside of our business object, such as this arithmetic one, we now are forced to do this inside the try and catch block. So let's discuss the elements of all of this. So just to quickly summarize, I think the list of what we have to discuss here would include here. First of all, we need to talk about some rules, right? And those rules would be rules for the throw keyword, throws keyword, the try keyword, catch keyword. There's another one you may already know about, which is finally keyword. So throw can be used as the original throw, but this also can be used to rethrow exceptions. So this is also something that we need to discuss, the possibility of rethrowing exceptions. Throws keyword will bring us to two possibilities. And those two possibilities are catch or specify. So we're going to discuss that. And then, of course, those three, try, catch, and finally, have to follow some rules. So we need to discuss what can be done with try and what are different syntax rules that exist for the try block, what kind of syntax rules exist for the catch block, and what kind of purpose and syntax is available for the finally block. And I think to this set of rules, I also would like to discuss one more aspect of all of this is basically multiple try, catch, finally statements in a single method, right? So there's some interesting aspects that we may want to discuss with respect to this, multiple try and catch, and some ambiguities that we need to discuss in this situation, because it essentially adds another dimension to exception handling, right? So this is the plan for the rest of our discussion, and I think we can continue on with this by jumping back to our presentation, and just a few highlights here, I think. So we say, when exception occurs, an object of a particular exception class is created, right? So as demonstrated, as we say, when exception occurs, you see it's us, it could be us deciding that now it's time for exception. So if the condition doesn't work for us, we can say, let's have an exception. But exception is object. Exception mechanisms are object-oriented mechanisms. Therefore, of course, the new operator is needed. Okay. Java provides a number of exception classes to handle common exceptions. We will explore those in the future. There's, for instance, arithmetic exception, which is already built into Java. And of course, input mismatch exception, we've seen some of its use already with the scanner class. So a few rules that we can mention here with respect to try, catch, and finally. Statements that could generate exceptions have to be placed in the try block. So we've demonstrated this by the fact that, when add method of the arithmetic object could throw an exception, we could no longer use the statement as a regular line of code. We have to enclose it in a try and catch construct. Okay, so that's just part of the language. Not all statements in the try block will execute. The exception is interrupted as soon as the exception occurs. In our case, we know that what happens is that we attempt to use this object to make a method call. Here's our method call. So there's some input parameters which are passed to the method, and then eventually it returns the result. So that rule there says not all statements will complete. So interestingly, so if this add method fails and throws an exception, the result will not be returned. And that should be quite visible in this implementation right here, right? You see, there's only one return statement which returns the result of the computation, but if there is an exception thrown, there is no return statement, and therefore nothing is returned. It's a different mechanism that is used in this situation, right? So once again, if an exception is thrown, the result is not returned, right? So we essentially, and of course the next statement also does not execute. Instead, the control is passed to the catch statement. and the catch statement is not automatically chosen. Basically, the list of exceptions is going to be scanned for the appropriate type of the exception. In our case, we had a perfect match for arithmetic range error right there, but of course, if our method could return multiple exceptions or different types of exceptions, then of course we might need to use multiple catch statements and there's some other alternatives for a statement which wants to handle multiple exceptions.